So here's coming back to horse shows and rules and whatever else. Criteria for judging in-hand horses. And I will talk about performance horses a little bit. First criteria is conformation. Is the horse structurally correct? Does the horse have quality? Does the horse have presence? Does the horse have the proper type or the proper way of going? You know, is that the criteria that we're using on these horses? So a judge has got certain criteria that they need to function or operate with. And what is presence?
Look at me attitude.
Look attitude. Look at me type attitude. It's very difficult when you're in Europe to explain that to people because they call it something else and I'm not sure what they call it. But it becomes a word that we have to define periodically. Quality should say everything, just how your mind looks at quality. And conformation says structural correctness. Type explains itself, obviously. And way of going is how that horse travels, both on the parallel as we watch it from the side and as we watch it track to and from us. We want to watch the horse track. Criteria for judging stallions. You can see this is old. I didn't change it. Should say stallions 3+ years. Stallion tack is optional in in-hand horses. What's the method for presenting horses in showing in hand? We've had several discussions on this topic, and I don't think they should be shown necessarily like a stock horse, which means you walk to the judge, trot by the judge, down to the first cone, hang a left, and trot across an L. I think these horses have got a little bit more fancy, a little bit more show in them. And I think that you as exhibitors, owners, and breeders need to have the opportunity to show those horses. I really do. And so what I've tried to do is create a diagram here that may be confusing for some, but let me just kind of explain it to you. If I'm the judge standing in this position right here, what I'd like to see the horses do is walk a short distance to come in the ring and then have them trot down the rail to a reasonable point so that the handler is not out of oxygen, requiring a paramedic to get them out of the class.
Do it in Colorado.
And especially in Colorado. Yeah. So as a result of it, what we say is just relax, walk, and lead your horse on over here. I'm basically going to stop judging that horse right here. I want to see from here to here. It doesn't mean I might not ask you to trot again, but at least it gives you a pattern. I think that rule books, rules and regulations are something for a judge to adhere to, but they're also a handbook for exhibitors to know what's expected of them. And if we put a pattern in that rule book and says this is where you show your in-hand horses, then Carol can be back in Missouri and know that when she gets to Tennessee how those horses are going to be shown rather than be surprised every time she goes to a different horse show. I think that's important, especially with the strong amateur base that we have here. I really do. And so I'm not saying this is perfect by any means. I'll show you the rest of it. So then the horse walks around here, stops and stands. Here's the next one. Guess what? I'm still standing here, okay? And I'm going to ask you to walk that horse on the right straight to me. So I'm watching him track at that point, okay? Then I'm asking the horse to pose or stand posed right here in front of me. So stand the horse up, show the horse. I get to see what it looks like, okay? And then the next step is I watch it track away from me and then track down the rail one more time. So you've got 2 chances to give me profile. I only need 1 shot at tracking, walk, and I'm going to see a much better track at the trot than I am at the walk. And I've got the angle that makes it easy to take off. And if you wanted to go perpendicular to the rail, because there are a lot of times we got the horse standing up facing the rail, would you trot straight the rail, please, and then trot down the rail about 30 feet. So that you've got a chance to get that horse cranking a little bit, get him up in the, you know, and get a little bit of show out of him. Because I mean, I want to see these horses show. I just don't want to see them go out there and say, oh, I'm out in the pasture for another day. And, you know, that's, you know, I'm still back to show. You know, it has to be that way. But I've suggested that we do this Then we stand and pose the horses. We walk them here. You're not judged over here at all. Walk them, line them up head to tail. And then we can walk around and do another close-up inspection if that's what we want to do, and do our final lineup. When that horse walks in the ring, I want that horse to have a little brio about him, then take a little pride and have that presence in the walk. I want that horse to kind of come together just a little bit so that when he breaks into a trot, I don't want to see somebody just running down the rail, just dragging that horse behind them, so to speak. But I want to see that horse be deliberate in its movement, in its trot, so that when you see that right front, left front, left front, I'll get the right hands here, striking the ground, there's some spring, there's some suspension. That horse is mechanical, if you will. That horse is deliberate in its motion. And it's basically how that horse is presented by that handler. And this is back to our point up here. These horses you have to train. You have to run with them. You have to work with them. You don't lead them out of the pasture, wash them, clip them, wash them, and then lead them out in the show ring. I want to see that horse, how he presents itself. I want to watch that horse as it walks in, as it trots down the rail, present itself. Working them between the rail, you and the rail, allows you the opportunity to kind of drive that horse up underneath of itself and kind of get some presence, bring it out and through the head and neck, and then get that horse to start driving off its hindquarters, and it gives you just an incredible visual image. And when that happens, if that horse is driving off the hind end, you're going to see the same balance coming off the front end. Showing horses in the show ring and doing this is going to be different than what you would do in an evaluation. It's more conversational, far more relaxed. Whereas in a show ring, for right now, it's really funny. If your horse really doesn't trot from point A to point B, the exhibitor thinks, well, that's it. I got screwed. The horse didn't trot. I guess that's it for the day. Well, there's nothing in the rule book. I don't care what rule book you say. It doesn't matter. I just picked this one up. I had it in my bag. It doesn't say you can't go back and trot it again. No, I'm the exhibitor. I'm the exhibitor showing my horse. I know whether I showed my horse or not well. Okay, I'm going to say, one moment, please. And I'm going to lead that horse back and get back and crank that horse up one more time. And then, absolutely, that's called showmanship. That wins classes.